Tonight we are learning the number of children involuntarily sent for mental evaluations reached an all-time high in Florida. That is according to newly released state research.
And the trend shows more of the children are being screened at younger ages. Contact 5 investigator Katie Legrone breaks down the numbers.
(911), what is your emergency?
There's an active shooter in the school.
If the Parkland school shooting helped bring attention to the topic of Florida kids in mental crisis,
there's someone in here shooting guns. He's upstairs. I'm scared.
new state data reveals just how many children were singled out as needing help. According to USF's Center for Baker Act reporting, during the same fiscal year, the state experienced its deadliest school shooting in history. More than 36,000 kids were sent for involuntary psychiatric exams under the state's Baker Act law, a 10% increase from a year earlier, despite a less than 1% population growth, marking a new state record and new concerns.
It literally felt like they kidnapped my child.
This Southwest Florida mother, who we're not identifying by name to protect her child, is still angry after her son was Baker Acted at school earlier this year.
I felt like it was a form of punishment. My child does have ADD, ADHD, and anxiety disorder.
According to a sheriff's report, her son was depressed and pulled strips of paper around his neck and placed his hands on his neck. When questioned by his teacher, he reportedly said he was attempting to choke himself. Her son is 8 years old, was on a special needs plan, and the Baker Act, Mom believes, wasn't necessary.
How do you think that should have been handled?
I think they should have called me.
According to the latest data, the Baker Acting of children 13 and younger in Florida went up nearly 20% from the prior year.
I think those numbers are the scariest numbers of all.
April Lott works with families in crisis and served on a state task force commissioned by lawmakers to study why so many kids here are being Baker Acted. In the last decade, the numbers have increased nearly 55%.
Do those numbers suggest to you that that task force that you served on had any impact?
Well, it would suggest that, that we haven't had an impact, right? Because the numbers are going up.
But Lott cautions it's still early. A few months after the task force recommended alternatives to Baker Acting kids, Parkland happened.
We're asking adults to pay attention to more and more things. And the more they pay attention to those things, I think the more children are Baker Acted.
Among the group's recommendations, require schools notify parents before a Baker Act is initiated, not after.
We absolutely need policy that says that we are working in partnership with parents.
In 2018, a bill mandating earlier parent notification failed. State Senator Gail Harrell served on the committee that filed it.
Moving forward, I would anticipate that there may be further legislation around this topic, but it has to be carefully constructed.
Harrell says it's a delicate balance, but one she says the state is committed to, as the number of children in crisis across our state remains a crisis.
They had his therapist on phone number. They could have called me, they could have called his dad, they could have called anybody, but they chose not to.
Complete this sentence for me. The Baker Acting of children in Florida is
Overused.
In our area, kids Baker Acted in Palm Beach County up 8%, while Martin and St. Lucie County increased more than 50% year over year. To see a breakdown of the numbers, just head to our website. Katie Legrone, WPTV News Channel 5.